my heart into something gold. Knew I sold my soul to the devil long ago. I rode it all along on your way right before it broke. Time was thrown down the well, so I let you go. What I do right now. What I do right now for you, for you. Carolina skies in the night, floating by your side. I fell up when you fell down, but we stayed in flight. I'm laughing to myself, 'cause I know that I can't deny. I can't find what you can't hide right inside my mind. What I do right now. What I do right now for you, for you.
Pacifico is a crisp golden lager, brewed for those who know. It's what's behind a label that matters.
drift away until the day the world stops spinning. Oh, baby. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. The stars falls around us, entwining us. So baby, stay with me where the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning, 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 until the day the world stops spinning. Sarah, I hurt myself today trying to make the pain go away. Sarah, I want to fade away, be with the stars in outer space. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Couldn't fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah, Sarah, why you leaving me? Don't you know you can't leave me now? Sarah, I lost myself today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away, close my eyes, never wake up again. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Couldn't fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We all have our reasons why we are on this track. Oh, we all have our burdens, yeah, but we just keep on fighting and we never look back. Here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
I want the millions, please. Do not talk, I don't like chit chat. I'm in a Rari, I'm pushing 200, yeah, I told her sit back. Whole lot of money, don't talk about that. You already know that about my racks. Take your step, can't get that back. Now I got Jesus taller than Murray, I kick in your door still. In your house like Corey, you lame, boy, you. 32 shots since the last Mac, might let him out. Fell asleep in the PJ, remember I ain't have a house. Give my bitch 10 racks, she bought me back 40. But that ain't enough, shit, told her we need more of it. I'm with my bags, you Goldilocks, we take your porridge. I went in Gucci and Louis said that I need 4 of them. If you talk crazy like paper, you know that I'm folding him. Niggas is crabs in the bucket, I'm swimming in oceans. Niggas is carrying sticks, so please don't approach them. Niggas is carrying sticks, so please don't approach them. I want the millions, please. Do not talk, I don't like chit chat. I'm in a Rari, I'm pushing 200, yeah, I told her sit back. Whole lot of money, don't talk about that. You already know that about my racks. Take your step, can't get that back. Now I got Jesus taller than Murray, I kick in your door still. In your house like Corey, you lame, boy, you. 32 shots since the last Mac, might let him out. Fell asleep in the PJ, remember I ain't have a house.
Look into your eyes, I see the colors of your soul, and I recognize every single line, every single roadblock. We are two hearts that beat in time, and the towers looking down all night, blocking out the sun that we need. Maybe we can change our stripes and colors. You're the only one I see. And I take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up take it all, nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night, sleep through the sunrise. Into my past and I count the numbers of the dreams that I left behind. I don't even care now that I've discovered a new kind of peace of mind. Up above us, looking down on us, there's an angel I know. We don't need to worry or discuss much. It's time for me to hit the road. Take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night, sleep through the sunrise. Take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night. And I take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night, sleep through the sunrise.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at. And that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting the blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now.
Hold up your sign though, they ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that.
That sounds like a pop song.
Take a dive before you dry, y'all. It's the only way to live. You can't be without it, baby. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Try before you sign off. This shit can kill the sick. Real stories. It's the only way to live. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah, yeah. Hold up your sign, though. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. Rush.
Pick up panel to be right on. Yeah. Cause no one really gives. Don't look back, I'll keep your eyes on. Long ago.
Doesn't matter what it gon' cost. Never gave you shit. Real soul. Let it take a hit. Hey.
Who's getting high on emotion? Look around. People fight all their life for some peace. Yeah.
Look around. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah. Hold up your sign, though. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. Rush. Take off. Rush at the rush. Take off. Rush at the rush. Rush. Take off. Rush at the rush.
All right, we're finally here. We're finally ready to go. Quincy Crew versus the Cut. We've got our first match of the closed qualifiers for ESL 1 Genting. And it's going to be me and SVG leading you through at least this game and the next one.
Blessed be the coordinator that has given us North American Dota.
That's right. We were just waiting for the coordinator this whole entire time. It's as Avery said earlier, it wouldn't be an NA qualifier without some coordinator problems. It just so happens to always be the NA time where Valve does a little bit of patching here and there. So
I can't remember the last NA qualifier I played in my entire career that at some point didn't get patched in the middle of a game. So it is tradition. And
how many of those
tradition means a lot.
qualifiers did you get like an actual like gameplay change patch?
5 seconds remaining.
I only remember one. It was in the middle of the series though, which was pretty weird. Trying to imagine you're drafting for a series, and then they just throw a gameplay patch. All right, time to try some stuff out, I guess.
Did you end up winning?
Of course, I won all my games.
Yeah, well.
When did I ever lose in my career?
I mean, if that were true, we wouldn't be talking right now.
That's probably accurate.
10 seconds remaining.
You know what else I lost to a lot, though?
Huh.
Marcy. That's why I'm glad to see it banned. This region respects that hero.
Yeah, well, is it really respect or is it like disrespect?
It could be a little bit of both. Could be some respect, could be some mutual hate, could be some mutual agreement, a gentleman's agreement. Not to have Marcy in the game, you never know. Honestly, though, I haven't seen Quincy play that hero too much. If you go back to their last games, which were the major quals, they're predominantly a Dawnbreaker Puck priority team.
Yep.
Which a lot can change. And I know MSS has been playing Marcy, but I don't think of Quincy as a Marcy team, right? And I think you kind of have to be a Marcy team to play this hero. I don't think it's that straightforward of a hero to just pick and throw in anywhere. Like, you need the lane combinations, you need the in-game team fighting synergy, you need some sidekick synergy. Then the hero becomes really good. And speaking of good heroes, you're a Zeus man.
I am. You sufficiently shamed me enough, though, and I stopped spamming the hero quite as much as I was, but it.
Well, let's be real. My shame was
to me.
not why you stopped spamming it. My shame was not why you stopped spamming this hero. Your loss streak is why you stopped spamming this hero.
Whoa. I don't think I actually was losing with Zeus, to be fair. I think I expanded outside of Zeus. Started playing some other. Honestly, I just got kind of bored. It basically, I'll be honest. Maybe I'm a little bit of a hipster. It did become a little too mainstream,
Right.
And then I just felt like I was picking the OP hero. And then that doesn't feel good, because then if you win the game, whatever, you played an OP hero. If you lose the game, you lost with an OP hero. It just doesn't feel good either way,
I can respect that. I have absolutely no respect for it. But tell me, Cap, you said he's an OP hero. All right, you're the analyst. I'm the play-by-play. Tell me, why is this hero OP?
I think this hero's Heavenly Jump offers like too much mobility for a hero that does a pretty insane amount of damage. I think they, over the years, have been buffing up his stats, so his right-click damage is pretty decent. Which means that as a trading hero from the 4 position, you combine, you have shorter range, but if you are able to use your Heavenly Jump correctly, I think you can offset that disadvantage. And you can actually trade really well with the enemy carry or with other supports. And I think Heavenly Jump gives you rare kill opportunity, where you would normally never have it with a hero like Zeus. So I think his laning phase is so much better. I think the 404 build from mid makes this hero pretty bonkers, because it's so hard to gank him if he goes that build. Heavenly Jump feels like it's always off cooldown.
That's because it is. Honestly, I was pretty impressed with that answer.
Wow.
you're a Dota player. I would have accepted he has a 6-pack. Your answer was pretty good too. I
Jesus, your
agree.
bar is terrible. It is very low.
I mean, this hero is just, he's crazy. He's always going to be the
10
highest damage in the
seconds
game,
remaining.
which makes him a pretty consistent carry. He's always going to get farm. He's lane
5
shove.
seconds remaining.
He's global pickoff. The escape mechanism just turns him into an absolute monster. I think we'll see this Puck matchup. I think Puck is also a first phase hero this patch. A lot of teams have picked up on how to abuse this hero in terms of the tri-core meta, using this hero to set up for 2 other high damage cores, and providing a huge amount of damage on his own. I'm interested to see how this lane... I don't think the cut ever plays a Zeus mid. They already picked up Ember, so they're kind of showing that as well. So Quincy probably know this to some extent. If they've done their research, which, you know, this is a team that always does their research. So Cut will get this Puck counter pick, which is the downside, but the upside is you do get this Puck Tusk combination, which we saw Quincy and EG use to good effect in the major qualifier runs over that DPC. I don't think this combo really lost, right? I mean, you have insane scale, a save for a hero that doesn't even really need it.
10
Great
seconds
setup, great
remaining.
initiation, pretty solid laning. Quincy will also play this Tusk 4 or 5.
5 seconds remaining.
Fada is a hero specialist, so they have a lot of lane flexibility here.
Yeah.
This is an interesting opener. I think the Cut's power level is slightly higher, but I think this Quincy opener is... I don't think NA has really answered this opener too well. I think there are answers to it, but I don't know. People just seem to be getting away with it.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to this first pick, the Cut choosing Zeus over Puck, like I feel like I would rather have a Puck as a mid laner, but Zeus does offer just that flexibility that you were talking about of being 4 or 2. So, like for my money, I still think Puck is like the more OP of the 2 mid laners, but Zeus also makes for a crazy good support. So
I don't know, this Zeus hero, he does some crazy stuff. I also think he has some good interaction versus Puck. I don't know about the support Zeus, but if you get farmed on this hero, like you see these mid Zeuses running around with Sange Kayas and Ags and stuff, right?
Yeah,
I think at that point, you're pretty annoying for Puck, because it forces him to jump really deep in the fight, and you have this Nimbus and Volt that can like randomly chain stun him. He doesn't expect it, you know? And you're pretty tanky.
I
That's
think
the thing about
the
the Zeus hero.
Axe is
He's
like
so
a
tanky.
must-have against Puck. When it,
Yeah,
like if you can build it,
for
I
sure.
think it's so valuable. Just like any small little mini stun to just screw up Puck's game so badly.
Yeah, especially when you can throw from
10 seconds
1000x away. It's hard for him to predict. Those
5
types of things
seconds
are nice
remaining.
for this hero. So I'd say the Cuts opener is like already pretty decent at dealing with this hero in the mid game. Just gonna be a question of do they get run over and by lanes. So I think that's one of the big problems in NA. When you go up against the top 3, you just don't want to get crushed in the lanes in the first 10 minutes that you're so far behind, you don't get to play Dota.
Yeah.
That's going to be the biggest issue for the Cut in this series, so we'll see if they can address it. Though Ember Spirit helps. I would argue this is the Shagman's best hero. As someone who has been griefed by many of his experiments in pubs, I can tell you, when I see him pick Ember, it is a relief for me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I definitely feel similar.
10 seconds
It's like
remaining.
you get Ember Spirit, Void Spirit. I think is another good one for
5
Shaggy.
seconds remaining.
You know, he starts pulling out the OD, which he is good at. Just probably a bad hero right now. You know, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
I would give my foot to see an OD Shaggy, man. Just no more Arcborn or Medusa mids, man. I can't take them.
Yes, I mean, Arkosh definitely utilized that a few times. Do some mid, rush Divine Rapier, end the game in 20
God,
minutes.
He's an experimental player. I'll give it to him. To him. You know, he's not ever going to bust it out in these games, but I'll give it to him.
It's not the only thing he likes to experiment with, but back to the draft. Quincy Crew Enchantress is going to be, I'm guessing, their 5 position, though. We have seen seen some weird Enchantresses, most notably from Nouns, who did a carry Enchantress. Any possibility we'll see like a Leslau Enchantress here?
I don't think so. I think the one role I could see it is the Mojo Ench, right?
Okay.
This is a team that historically Mojo will play this hero. He likes it. It kind of that, if you remember the old Taiga Ench style, where he played it for a while.
10
Same
seconds
idea. Just
remaining.
if this hero can destroy some offlane, they're happy to do it because Leslau is he's a pretty farm heavy offlaner. So if you can win his lane and put him in a good scaling position, Quincy's gonna be happy to do it. So they do have the support lane flexibility here, and there's not a lot to answer this edge, especially in the early game. I'm not seeing a huge amount of, like... I mean, in theory, Clock combats this hero, but not really, you know? It's not amazing. It's kind of this
10
style
seconds
of ignore the Enchantress and hope it fizzles out in the mid-game, which is where that...
5
If this
seconds
hero gets
remaining.
farm, which it can do very easily. I mean, you're seeing these Enchantresses build Hurricane Pikes, stuff like this. Suddenly you're a core in terms of your damage output. That's where this hero becomes pretty scary. On top of it, you have the Ember Shield Purge. You have another good slow and kiting mechanism for this DP. Like, I actually think this Enchantress can have a decent impact this game, as long as she doesn't get destroyed by Zeus.
Okay, so the Tusk Enchantress were kind of like the soft 4-5, and I'm guessing they were waiting until they saw core. Now they see Death Prophet. Which way are you leaning now in that case? Because you talked about how Death Prophet and Clockwork like could deal with that. Does that mean you want it in the 4 position and try and deal with the carry? That is still unknown.
Probably, I mean, I think they're leaning towards this DP Clock offlane,
10 seconds
Yeah.
which can be
remaining.
decent. Versus, like, it's decent from a blind position. Quincy are going to get the
5
response
seconds
pick. They take a ranged carry, which makes... I mean, that's basically the hardest situation for DP, but this hero's a very strong laner. I think, again, this second phase is trying to make the Puck's game hard. You have this hook shot into the cog back into the DP silence, which is a pretty reliable combo in the fight.
Yep.
This AoE silence is also annoying for the Tusk. The cogs are pretty annoying for the Tusk. Save that can come out later. So I like the combination. It's going to be a question, though, of, again, the laning. Like, that's the big thing here. I just don't
10
want the cut to
seconds
fall too far
remaining.
behind on these lanes, especially in the support matchups. Like, how much does
5
this Tusk and
seconds
Enchantress get
remaining.
done in the dual lanes? To me, that's the big question. Because they can still run this Deuce Tusk. That lane is
Dire team
a
back.
decently strong lane. If they really want to put this Enchantress somewhere that it's going to destroy something. But in theory, this DP has good, like, mid-game matchups in this game. Outside of Tusk physically bursting her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's good versus Medusa for almost the whole game.
10
Pretty good
seconds
versus
remaining.
the Puck if you have other setup stuns, which they have too, in Chains and
5
Hookshot.
seconds remaining.
So I kind of like the second phase here. Again, just don't don't get crushed on the lane here by this Ench. You just gotta be smart about it.
Yeah, I think because of the fact that Death Prophet does deal with the Dusa pretty well, it leaves Scourge McDuck's hero pretty open. I was gonna say the Bloodseeker for him, since the Bristleback was already banned. But unfortunately now Bloodseeker's also gonna be taken out. But I think I agree. It's just like something to deal with the laning
10
phase, which
seconds
I guess really we can't necessarily say anything about because we're still waiting to see Quincy Cruz
5
offlaner.
seconds remaining.
That is the strength, right? It makes it difficult to pick some carry blind here if there's all these summons and everything left in the pool. Like, I would think Sniper looks pretty good here, but then
Sure.
you're going to get Lycaned or something, and I think it just becomes way too hard. In fact, I think you have to think of this Lycan last pick for Quincy. It's a Lola's signature hero, and you don't have much for it. It's going to run down your Zeus. It's going to run down your
10
DP.
seconds remaining.
It's a Helm of the Overlord buffer for Medusa, which we've seen this combo go ham a lot.
5 seconds
I feel like their
remaining.
carry has to dissuade this a little bit, at least, which I think, again, look at the bans from Quincy. Bloodseeker, Terrorblade. These are some lycanthrope bans, I'm telling you. Like, Cut needs to think about this hero. Clinks?
All right.
I don't know if that's dissuading it enough. It might, like, you can eat a creep, but... I don't know, I
Either
think
way, it
Lycan
is another
producing.
Scourge McDuck hero. We've seen it a number
It
of
is.
times.
10 seconds.
I mean, it's another hero with an okay matchup versus Dusa, in terms of you outranging him and kiting him.
5
especially
seconds
later on.
remaining.
So they're trying to make this Puck and Dusa game as hard as they can. It's going to be a question of, what does Leslau get here? What does he feel confident? I do think they were 100% thinking of this Lycan, and they might still be. A lot of offlaners got banned as well, looking through the pool, so... There's still Furion, I guess? They want to go that route?
Is Furion really that good? I feel like Ember Spirit and Clinks with the Maelstrom. I feel like they'd have like pretty decent ways of dealing with that split push pressure.
I think the game just might be too fast for them.
Okay.
That's where I see this Furion maybe doing some work. There you go,
Now
Slardar.
select your heroes.
Alright. Interesting pick.
So we were
It's
talking
another
about
damage buffer.
yeah, exactly. Damage amplifiers for Dusa. Most of the time, you think about like auras and stuff like that, but Slardar does amp up the Dusa's damage with Corrosive Haze. Gives you vision of Clinks as well. Makes this Death Prophet hero a lot squishier. I mean, you said one of the things was like this Death Prophet. You know, she just has to be scared of being bursted by like Tusk and some nukes thrown around. Well, minus armor makes that a whole lot harder.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're amped up and you're getting punched. See you later. You're gonna disappear from this game. It also gives them an early Roshan presence, along with this Tuskar amp,
Oh yeah.
which, I mean, we see a
10
world where
seconds
DP ults
remaining.
down. Is the cut contesting some early Roshan here? If Deuces has Manta and
5
strong enough to
seconds
do it?
remaining.
Probably not. So it's an interesting pick. I think this hero's a bit underrated in general. I think Amar has really shown how to itemize and build this hero in a way that has scaling impact throughout the game and just makes it terrifying for a lot of carries. Like, this Slardar gets to Mom, BKB, Blink, plus another item, and he just blinks, amps this Ember or DP and starts chain bashing him. What's the response here from the cut? Not a huge amount. There's a hookshot interrupt or something.
Yeah.
So I think the pick's pretty solid. Gives Quincy what they wanted, which was some damage amp for this Dusa, some early-ish tempo, and at the same time a way to chunk through this Death Prophet in the fight. So I kind of like it.
So they took a little while before finally deciding that they're going to make it a Mojo Tusk, which feels better if you're going to be going for at least kills. You could get some sort of like snowball shard combo with the Slardar Tusk getting on top of the Clinks. That's pretty easy kills, I think, until level 6. So it's definitely going to be, if they are indeed going to be putting the double melee heroes together, that's going to be a lane that like must walk away with kills. Otherwise, I think you're just going to get harassed out eventually.
I would tend to agree, which makes me think if they're actually going to put that Tusk up there. We have seen a lot more of these fours be willing to go safe lane in this meta. So we'll see. But this lane isn't too weak. Like, these Tuskar lanes are talking about getting the kills. It's going to make them feel the best. I mean, Tuskar is one of the best at doing that, in theory. You can get the early level advantage. If you hit level 2 first, or you hit level 3 first, you go all in for a kill. Lynx is pretty weak in those early types of engagements. I don't know if they have the damage for the all-in, though. Especially versus, like, some clock interrupt or something. It's a little weird, so... see what they
Just
want to do.
want to open this by giving a fair warning to everybody. I haven't done obsing in a long time, so actually, I guess that's not true. We did some at Stockholm, I guess, for the groups. Whenever groups at LAN events happen, there's usually not enough observers to go around. But
30
If you want to
seconds
call that
go.
observing. I'll apologize. I will apologize on your behalf for all the viewers, because it's going to be a rocky road with Cap trying to catch all the action, I'll tell you that much.
some delicious rocky road. All right, a late 5-man smoke.
That's all you can
Which is
think about right
kinda
now, some ice cream?
Yeah. Don't distract me, Avery.
They're looking to turn this clock into some iced cream. He is getting 5-man out of the Roche pit.
The battle begins.
I was a little bit surprised. I thought Mojo, like you're in melee range, just activate the tag team. He'll get slowed down enough, but he actually goes for ice shards, which makes the lane, I think, a little bit worse, but not a big deal. They are going to be running the 2 melee heroes together, and then the 2 range are going to be going bottom, so we'll see how well this Enchantress does against the Death Prophet and Zeus. So B-God's actually going to be playing a bottom lane, so not actually getting the melee range combo, which is usually what we see.
Yeah, pretty interesting. The first blood's definitely going to help. I mean, that's a huge amount of gold for Slardar right off the bat, which is already flying out completed bracer extra regen. The extra regen's going to do a lot on this lane versus the Klink's harass. So that was a pretty pivotal kill to get. A kind of weird smoke, too. You don't see it a lot. Like this delayed smoke into the Roche pit. I guess Jubei is probably mad about that one, but what can you do? I mean, it's pretty cheeky smoke, you know? And I've seen Mojo go this, like, spell casting Tusk some games. It'll go more heavy points into Shard Snowball, which, it's like some more nuke damage early, and it also lets you farm waves sooner later on. It's kind of an interesting idea for this hero. I don't know if he's going to commit to it this game or something. But it's definitely an interesting idea about the hero. I think it's a little unexplored. I mean, he had some ideas about, like, buying Veil on this hero at one point.
Whoa.
Which I thought, I mean, that might be taken a little too far, you know, but...
yeah, I mean, a little bit.
I'm just saying, you know, anything can work, right?
Might be some limitations on that. Fada, not going to go for the enchant build, just impetus and heal just the way you like it, Avery. I know you're a big fan of these enchantresses just running into lane, impetusing people, especially against ranged offlaners, right?
I mean, I think this spell is still strong. It immediately starts winning you the regen trade, which means you can play more aggressive. If your carry can help you at all, I think you can reliably win all the early trades with this hero, with this spell. It's a pretty efficient damage spell. It does have to translate in this lane, though. Like, if you're going to win the early lanes and then it doesn't really matter later, then you might be better off just getting extra levels through the jungle or bringing some creeps, being more mana efficient. So it's not like 100 to 0 on how you level this hero ever. It is something you have to think about, which is, I mean, that is the name of the game, right? That is Dota 2. Use your brain. Be smart about things.
I'm not sure if you're trying to teach me something about Dota or if you're reminiscing a little bit of Flame from your NA pubs.
No, that was meant for you, don't worry.
You use your brain. Our mid lane matchup, we got Shaggy versus Quinn. We do like to talk about when it comes to Shaggy. It is a little early in the day, so we may not be seeing him at full power, but he has caused some lane upsets against Quinn from time to time.
Don't sleep on the Shaggy Ember, no matter what the time of day is, or when he just woke up. It is interesting that Shaggy's one of these players, you know, the intangibles matter a lot. That's how I'll put it, right? It's not as much about the in-game matchup or the technicals of the game. It's about the mindset of this player. Where is he? What time of day is it? What is he eating? What is he, you know, done or not done, so to say? That's going to put him in a position to carry his team.
Yeah.
Radiant's courier has been
We wonder where he is, and honestly, sometimes he's probably wondering that too. He doesn't even know where he is. Laszlo getting a little aggressive here on Jubei, who seemed to
fortified.
be a little bit out of position. Oh, actually, they're going to go for Scourge now. No detection, though, so a free escape and what probably would have been a kill. I mean, Klinks is pretty squishy pre-6.
He's got 5 armor. He's pretty tanky. I don't think they have the kill yet. I think level 3 Tusk, they can maybe go for it. They also don't have to play for the kills. I mean, well, that was just free farming up here. He's highest net worth in the game. He's second highest CS. This clock is not exerting any pressure on this lane. I don't think he can ever really go in and skirmish. This lane is just too beefy, too tanky, too much armor. They're both sitting at 7 armor here. The lane's pushing into him. They're pretty happy with this lane outcome, for sure. As we see Shaggy limping back to base.
Yeah, nobody's
Not happy
died.
with his lane outcome.
Nobody's died in the side lanes, and I feel like that is actually kind of an important factor in the Puck versus Ember matchup, right? Especially if you're facing up against somebody like Quinn. One bottle refresh probably would have done a lot of work for Shaggy.
Yeah, he's wishing he got a couple of those runes. He's going to be very far behind now. This is worrying, because this Puck is already level 6 to his 4. And this coil can immediately come out here, which is why Mojo's lurking around. They really want this coil kill. There's not a lot of turnaround.
He shows himself. There was that ward that Shaggy immediately placed for himself as he TP'd in. They're going to go for it. The TP's going to come in from Jubei. We'll see how much a clockwork can really help with this situation, as Shaggy
tanky.
just tanky enough to survive. He actually has a range drop. He had a full magic wand. Maybe not full, but a completed magic wand with a decent number of charges.
Alright, so he got the level 5, level 3 Flame Guard with the range drop, as you said. Just enough. Fada's going to poke him here. This is
Refill
probably
the
pretty
bottle.
annoying.
6-minute runes. Jubei trying to
Man,
secure
it
the
up.
top one. It's not actually there. Quinn not going to jump to the orb. Is going to get pushed back. Shaggy, meanwhile, dangerously low. MSS, he's going to be dying first, and Quinn has another round of the
Shaggy
orb, but
surviving all
the
of it?
raindrop and the flame guard, he's still alive and should be good to go. Fada's not going to be able to do anything here. Actually, maybe B-God dies. He's got the ghost for another 10 seconds, so this combination of slows and range hits. One more impetus shot, and he gets it up the high ground, too. No fairy fire save. Quinn, meanwhile, did go for the regen rune. Oh, that's got to feel very good. Shaggy
Blessed
denied
is the hand of Gaben for Quinn.
Dire's middle tower
Sometimes when you need a rune, and it's the best rune you can get, saves him a trip to base, saves him probably dying there almost, too. Is Quinn the best rune getter in all of Dota?
I mean,
McDuck
I
goes
feel
down.
like that's not a one-person deal, you know?
What do you mean? It's a team effort?
Well, yeah, it's a team effort, right? So is Quincy Crew the best rune secures?
No, I think it's just Quinn. Is Shaggy living through this one, too? Oh,
Jumping away,
Quinn
Quinn
went
jumps to the
for
other
it.
side. Quinn's going to take a lot of damage still. Spots the courier, kills that, but with the rotations coming in,
SMD
Quinn,
is here.
he has no options. SMD, after that death in the top lane, TP's made to collect a kill on the puck, and will take over the lane, it seems.
He's gonna need it. He's in kind of salvage mode.
Yeah.
This Slardar is absolutely ripped. I have not seen a Slardar this farmed in a long time. I mean, this guy is rock. What is his GPM already? 450 for this early in the game is absurd. He might get fed even more gold here.
Jubei, nice positioning. Plants himself right next to the cog, so there's instantly a cog burn pushback. Happen to be on the Slardar too, even better.
A narrow escape
Yeah,
from this
Leslau.
Leslau working.
He wants to keep that corrosive haze on him. He want this kill eventually. And with the
He definitely
nighttime,
doesn't want to allow him to sit here and leech. That's the biggest thing.
Slardar has superior nighttime vision, right?
He is an angler fish type
Yeah.
species, so that would make
Yeah.
sense.
It's in the lore.
He gets a courier. He has Mask of Madness already. You should dive this guy. What's
They
the
want
response
to.
here?
Seems like they're a little bit skittish about it.
Yeah.
Guess they're just going to keep cutting ways, and their opportunity will present itself eventually.
Exorcism bottom, though. This is a lot of time this Clockwork's wasting here, and DP trying to take advantage of it. Though Fada says, "What's up?"
It's a little close, and Nick pulls the creep wave away, so not able to keep that pressure up completely. Jubei going to be dove once again. Battery Assault is out, though. If he can keep his distance, doesn't get caught in the ice shards, doesn't really have anywhere to run to, though. Puts himself on a corner, tries for the best, but eventually he'll die here to Leslau. TP bottom, Quinn.
Trying to
Trying
defend the tower.
yeah, defend the tower, keep the pressure off.
Shaggy
Fada's
here,
gonna get
though.
chased down. Quinn can't really do anything about it, perhaps.
That was a nice acorn.
Yeah, it really was.
Have you seen these, like...
Awkward.
Have you seen these mid-chens with the...
Yeah.
like the Vlad's bills? You get these acorns with the damage amp off the fact you get the bonus damage. They do so much damage. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that to come into competitive.
I have seen the mid-chens. I can't tell if it's, like, actually good or just a meme.
I think it's good. I actually... I legit think it's pretty spooky. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of damage early, as we're going to see Tuskar go on a Lil Nick. You don't have the armor, son.
No. He dies almost
And the
immediately,
courier.
but there is going to be Shaggy and B-God around the corner. Still doesn't have one into chains, so they really have, I guess, a whole lot of kill power. Jubei still lurking up here in the top lane, just soaking for level 6.
Once more, Leslau has had the freest game of his life here. He's going to be an absolute monster, and I don't know if they're going to have the ability to contest this guy early. They're having troubles contesting this Tusk-Puck combo. We haven't even talked about Yalra this game, but, I mean, he's a Medusa who hasn't been interacted with. This game is getting a little out of control for the cut already. Down 5,000 gold in 10 minutes. Significant margin. I think
Fada
Shaggy
does it again.
needed runes or something.
I don't know how, but like 1 levels of Nature's Attendance seems to be enough for him to just stand in front of all these heroes and live.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's a lack of control. The only stun on the cut is pretty much just Clock, who's been
Dire's middle
leeching
tower
XP
has
top.
fallen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. Now he has to do something with it, though. If Shaggy got power runes this game, I think they could have done more in these skirmishes. His regen's just been hindered really hard. Now he gets his shield purged.
He's going to jump back. Begon collects the kill. Heavenly jumps away. Quinn, not able to quite catch him, does get him with the coil now, but on the other side of the shards, things are a little awkward here. Might be able to still catch Beacon if he wants to jump to the orb, but it's a little dangerous, little Nick, with the exorcism already out, and he does have a level in silence, so something to look out for.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, they finally collect that pesky enchantress that was being so annoying for so long. A hefty price being paid on the other side of the map. But you take those wins. You take the wins you can get. Because I don't know if there was a lot else they're going to get at this point in the time. We're seeing Shaggy queue up an Orchid. Alright. That is a puck answer. I feel
Is
like
it
it's
the
an
right
item...
puck answer when you're behind, though?
That's what I was about to say. I feel like this item does not function when you're half the enemy's net worth. It's not the position you want to be in with this item. It's usually an aggressive snowball item.
Well, they should really be looking out for Leslau now, because he is going to be collecting his Blink Dagger now, so with the Blink Dagger, Mask of Madness, that's pretty much 100-0 on anybody that they jump. So we'll see how good of a job Jubei does protecting his cores here.
Hey, protect yourself. This is an every man for himself scenario.
Oh, Bigot spots Leslau. Heavenly jumps. Leslau does have the blink up in a second, and it's going to be stopped.
You could hook him here.
Whoa! Missed hook shot. The chains goes out at the same time, perhaps making things a little bit awkward for Jubei.
I think that was actually a kill. He's pretty deep.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge turnaround.
They immediately smoke right back up. Quincy Crew want to keep this Blink Dagger. Keep the opportunity open. 3-man smoke to bottom lane, so it looks like they're going to find Lil Nick here as he's going to be spotted.
Tower.
Snowball, chased down. Immediate TPs are coming in, but he's going to die so quickly between the Corrosive Haze and the Mask of Madness. In fact, they're going to go for the second kill now to Jubei. More TPs are coming in, rather, but not in mass. Now it's B-God here, but still not enough people, not enough reinforcements. If anything, it's Quincy Crew. They're going to be bringing more heroes. Quinn's going to be able to jump forward with the help of Leslau. They're actually going to go for the +1. Quinn not even bothering any attention on a B-God. Gets the coil onto Scourge McDuck, and they get the Klink's kill too.
The Slardar smoke works out. Second time's the charm. I thought that fight was a little close to that tier 1 if the reinforcements came in faster. Leslau proving me wrong with the amount of single target bursts they have. That is that Slardar Tuskar combination. You are not surviving this in the early game. And this is a very important smoke for them to hit. If you go the second item Blink on Slardar, you need that move to work out if you're going to commit to it. Because now the whole game is going to open up for him. As he gets even more kills. Like, he can control really aggressive areas as we're seeing here. There's just so much net worth went into this guy early. The first blood, the Klink's kill on the lane, the free tower, the clock kill on the dive, now into this smoke. The guy's 7-0.
Yeah, look at him. They're just, Shaggy just throws a slight up the high ground because they're so scared of a Slardar just sitting, waiting for someone to come up a ramp. Chain goes out, but Quinn is able to jump back to safety. They've got a 4-man grouping here of the cut, and I saw them circle Yawar earlier. They do have some nice aggressive vision down. But I'm not sure if they could kill the Dusa, even if they all ran into her.
They're going to have issues killing a lot of stuff in this game at this point. It's pretty much on the back of a hook shot into the silencer of the chains. And then what happens after that? That's the other problem here. All 3 cores from Quincy are scaling at a decent rate. They have the Tusk buffs. They're going to find Mojo in the river.
Should be able to get him. Tried to ice shards bump himself up the cliff. Doesn't actually make it, though. And thinking about their next target, they're going to go back to bottom here, where Leslau's still farming. I mean, he's getting actually pretty decently close to a BKB.
They have nothing for this BKB.
Yeah, once he gets it, it feels like it's game over.
Yeah, it's going to be Roshan into your base. So, Cut need to find something in these types of skirmishes. They're the ones just getting obliterated here. This is turning into a shellacking.
Both the supports to a man. Quinn takes his. Leslau offs the other one. Fought to actually collect the kill there. And now it's just the Cut. They're just kind of pushing around different sides of the map, scrambling to get whatever farm they can. But if they're not actually going to fight Quincy crew, then Quincy will just force objectives. They're going to be able to take an Aegis for themselves, which I'm not even that convinced that UR needs.
Give it to
Then
the
again,
Sora, man.
I mean, Lessa almost has BKB, so I feel like neither one of them can die, actually.
Short-lived creatures.
Quinn just solos his Death Prophet? Alright.
Yeah.
The power of Arcane Rune Puck with Witchblade.
Dude, Arcane Rune Puck is so dumb.
Is it as dumb as Arcane Rune Zeus, though? Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I think it is dumb.
SMD gets two-shotted.
Jubei couldn't even react fast enough, thought about throwing out the hook shot, and then he was like, wait, no, you are actually dead.
I mean, I remember way back in the day, Sumail used to say that he thought Arcane Rune Puck was the most powerful hero in the game.
Hmm.
That you are literally invincible, and because you are invincible, you just cast free spells forever. You can't really lose a fight. Which I tend to agree with. Hookshot on Dusa, out of mana.
Yeah, they're going for it.
This is pretty much the game here. They need to win this fight.
Got the Stone Gaze off with the coil there as well, making things very awkward. They're going to go for it still. Scourge McDuck popping out, throwing some damage in. They do have enough. UR's going to be the first one down. MSS, they turn back to him. D-God buys back, throws out some damage, and it is enough to collect perhaps both of these supports. As, oh no, Leslau's here though. He's got his Aegis still. Everybody run. Big L.
Big L
You gotta get out of here.
And they vacate the premises. It's still a decent fight, though. I mean, you got Dusa, you got a support.
Yeah, and you lost your Clink still.
It's a tough game. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices here.
Well, his BKB is now on its way. So, I mean, at this point, I would be surprised to see if they just try and go high ground with the last little bit of the Aegis.
I think he's happy just farming heroes. Why go high ground when you can play with your food, you know?
I mean, they do have potentially long day ahead of them. Still have another series after this, and that is dependent on Nouns and their matchup versus a team that I have forgotten. Originally,
right?
originally Evil Geniuses was going to play. They had to do a dropout. Looks like something to do with Fly and some family situations, so they couldn't have played in Genting. Yeah, oof. And so because of that, we were originally supposed to cast Nouns versus Wildcard as the opening matchup, but because EG left out and they added in a second qualifier team, all the matchups shifted.
Dire's top tower is under
Now you get Peter in.
Oh, is Peter playing for KBU?
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Or we could have a PPD versus Fada matchup down the road.
Oh shit!
You never know. I'll tell you one thing: Little Nick is not winning this fight.
Oh, don't think Lil Nick is gonna get a high five either. It seems.
I mean, this Puck Slardar combo is also pretty underrated. Just because this Puck hero is one of the few intelligence heroes that deals a substantial amount of right click the way people are itemizing now. So even just the amps off this hero's right clicks, like, you do a lot.
Yeah.
You build Sage and Kaya Witchblade now. You hit pretty hard, especially if you have some runes and someone's stuck in coil. You can even take some of the coil talents later if you're really feeling yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a
Two-man
very nice
coil,
lineup.
missed hook. So that is going to be the Zeus down first. Shaggy is going to be protected by the tier 4s, but Yawar is still going to be laying into the buildings. That is a cursed Jin Q phase. What the fuck?
What's up with it, dude? It looks so weird.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a skeleton on the ground. All right, they're going to go for it. Quinn does actually get locked down and silenced, but they couldn't kill him fast enough, so he gets off the phase shift. Should be able to blink away. The golden fish is here to slay. He's laying into 2 different heroes, and he'll finish off with the Ember Spirit kill, and that is pretty much going to be GG. Game 1. Quite the shellacking, as they say. 23,000 net worth lead for Quincy Crew in 22 minutes.
Yeah, that was not a pretty game for the cut. Pretty much got destroyed in their safe lane to the point where this game was just... I mean, there's just no Dota to be played. I think mid went pretty rough for Shaggy too. He did not get the runes he needed. He got rune denied a bit, and then Quinn just took him to town. He was like a level and a half ahead. They didn't even get that coil kill, but the thing is, every time one of these happens, you fall farther behind in this Ember network. Then this matchup just becomes rough. A lot of these puck matchups are based on, you know, the first 10 minutes, who's getting ahead by a little bit and can abuse that. And if puck is the one who's ahead and abusing you, you're probably going to have a rough time.
Yeah.
Also the power of this Tusk puck or Earth Spirit puck, which were the 2 combinations that EG ran for years, is, again, if puck is a mid hero who's pretty dependent on these mid matchups getting skewed in his favor, if you have a roaming 4 who can always gain for you, teleport, contest the runes, you're kind of ensuring that's going to happen. And that's why these combinations are very strong for this hero in the meta right now. Especially if when that 4 rotates, his 3 is dominating the lane and going 14-0. Then you really have a recipe for a disaster if you're dire team in this game. You pretty much have nowhere to go at that point.
Yep. Well, that this may be a very fast series. It's the new version of the cut, which I guess is the old version of the cut. Really, they had both. They had Rajix, and then they had somebody Afromoosh, right, who was playing the 4 position. But it seems like that has come to an end now that the 3rd season of the DPC is over, and they brought back V-God and Lil Nick, and well, at least for this initial game, nowhere near good enough to be able to take on Quincy Crew, but maybe it just needs a little bit of a shaking off of the nerves. Maybe well, I mean, you thought the draft was fine, right? It's just as long as they didn't get rolled over in lanes.
I mean, I think the draft is favorable for Quincy. I'm not sure Clinks was the pick.
Okay.
But honestly, you know, these games are not... They're more about the gameplay than the draft. Like, the Cuts draft is playable, you know? It's not... It's like, this DP can go ham if Clock and Ember are having a good game. But Clock and Ember need to have a decent game, so they can set stuff up on the map and play a tempo lineup. So you can use this DP's and Zeus's strength take over portions of the game. They just never get there, because it's Clock... That lane just went so bad that this Clock has no game. And then mid lane also went pretty freaking bad, so your 2 initiators and kind of skirmishers are just... The position's too rough for them to play the game. That's why this game looks so one-sided. I can see a world where Ember has a decent game and Puck doesn't, and the script looks flipped. Now, how likely is that to happen based on the draft? Not super... I mean, it's not incredibly likely on draft alone, you know? It's not
sure.
It's not very favorable towards you. It's not super easy. You might be able to outplay Quincy, but you're probably also not the favorite team in terms of outplaying them. So that's where you do generally want a draft that gives you some easeability in execution, you know? Make it easy on yourself. This is not a draft that's going to be easy to execute versus a team like Quincy, in my opinion.
All right,
Clinks
guys.
Clinks.
Clinks is Clinks. Yeah, that's a good way to wrap up that game 1. Clinks is Clinks. Maybe we'll get a different Scourge McDuck carry in game 2 as we're going to take a bit of a break and hopefully come back to a better game 2.
Up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, and we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. We stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Just the dust, just the sand, just the motion of your hands. Travel like lanes. It's just enough, oh yeah. Just for you, I'm just a man. Just an ocean in the wind. We ain't gotta make plans. Fair enough, it's fair enough, oh yeah. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. Like we're the two surviving pieces of something. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. And I know it feels like a light years in the making. Up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, and we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck. Oh no, we stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Just the dust, just the sand, just the motion of your hand. Travel like land, just your hype man. Just the one, just a believer. I don't care, I see you loading up my mind. Place me on the sidewalk. Fair enough, oh yeah. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. Like we're the two surviving pieces of something. Always you and me, tryna be weightless, yeah. And I know it feels like light years in the making. Up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck, yeah. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, but we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck, oh no. We stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Just the dust, just the sand, just the motion of your hand. Just the dust, just the sand, yeah, yeah. Travel like traveling. Just the dust, yeah, just the sand. Yeah, yeah, just la la da da. Just the dust, just the sand, just the dust, just the sand. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. Like we're the two surviving pieces of something. Always you and me, tryna be weightless. And I know it feels like light years in the making. Oh, duh, 1,000 miles of luck. Don't look down, we made it. Feet far off the pavement, and we go up, up, up. 1,000 miles of luck, yeah, yeah. We stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. In paradise, the sun never goes, it's a feeling. We watch the waves wash over the shore, the horizon was blinding. This could be the end of the world as we know it. Oh, this could be the end of the world as we know it. And we never thought we'd get this far. I'm gonna stay true. These songs I wrote for you, oh, they make me blue. They make me blue. What did you say to me? You wanted to be free. Do you believe I
want you to believe. I want you to believe.
Elohim, you home? Can't you come over?
Ayy, I'm on my way to the paper. All of my women look tailored. It costs a few thousand, it's tailored. Can't drop a dime in the sidewalk. I'm in the room with the bosses. All of our pockets look gorgeous, ayy. You'll see the boys of the Forbes, ayy. Constantly plotting, we want this, ayy. I need my bag and clips extended, ayy. Blast you haters to fragments, ayy. Got no time for the cameras, cause I might just pull the extension, ayy. Young nigga back to the basics. Getting that bag on occasion. She top it until she get brainless, hey. Damn it, I love to be famous. Ayy, I'm in my bag, I don't have to brag, no. Ayy, she's watching me stack it, so water my cap and fold. Ayy, if I spend it all, it's just cause I'm racking mo. Ayy, you so 10 in a back, you know I'm not capping, bro. Whoa, moving too fast, you probably thought it's a ghost. Whoa, stack it up, fuck it up, bitch, I've been doing the most. Whoa, moving too fast, yeah, I just hopped in a ghost. Whoa, stack it up, fuck it up, bitch, I've been doing the most.
Ayy, bitch, I got nothing to lose. I ain't got nothing else to prove. I see they all tryna shoot. Ashamed though, cause I'm bulletproof. Can't touch me, I'm up on the roof. I'm catching bodies, hiding all the proof. I make them disappear like poof. Just like that, you're gone for good. Little baby say she wants the wood. Man, I'm so misunderstood. Done playing games, we want the goods. Really did start from the bottom. Those moments can't be forgotten. And they been trying to see how I got it. Just know it ain't the least I bought it. I bought it.
Ayy, I'm in my bag, I don't have to brag, no. Ayy, she's watching me stack it, so water my cap and fold. Ayy, if I spend it all, it's just cause I'm racking mo. Ayy, you so 10 in a back, you know I'm not capping, bro. Whoa, moving too fast, you probably thought it's a ghost. Whoa, stack it up, fuck it up, bitch, I've been doing the most. Whoa, moving too fast, yeah, I just hopped in a ghost. Whoa, stack it up, fuck it up, bitch, I've been doing the most.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is game 2 of Quincy Crew versus the Cut after what was probably one of the more one-sided games I've had the pleasure to cast in my my career. It's probably one of the most one-sided games you've ever casted, Avery.
10 seconds
Man,
remaining.
you don't have to do them like that, you know.
Quincy
Come on.
Crew's turn to ban.
I mean,
Team
is it
ban.
true or not?
I mean, you don't have to do them like that. You know? That's all I'm gonna say on that. It was a rough one. It was a rough one.
Quincy
I
Crew's
think.
turn to
I
ban.
think Shaggy. I think Shaggy's gonna feel that one tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not going to be feeling shit as if he can win this and the next game, you know, or at least win his lane against Quinn, you know.
That's a good start.
10
Yeah, that's a good
seconds
start.
remaining.
Brush that
And
dirt
banning-
off his shoulder, you know. Kill Quinn a couple times in mid
seconds
lane.
remaining.
Feel good about himself, win or lose, no matter what. I mean, doing that to one of the best mid laners in the world has got to feel good. So,
Has he done that?
I mean, I've seen it in pubs. I don't
Alright,
know if
that's a
I've ever
start.
seen it in an official.
That's a start. Banning pucks. That's another good start, I think.
Okay.
Dire team pick.
They banned the. I mean, they banned the Shaggy Necroman. What can you do?
Not gonna be breathing it in, apparently.
That is the
Alright.
one hero I've seen him win every lane with. I mean, he is a pretty strong laner,
10 seconds.
so that would have been a
remaining.
route. Not anymore.
5 seconds remaining.
See whether or not they're gonna go for the Zeus opener again. I mean, B-God is
Dawnbreaker.
well known for his Skywrath mage, and I feel like Zeus is just a better version of Skywrath in this patch.
Zeus is a better version of a lot of things. Let's be real. I feel like that Skywrath comparisons. I mean, does Skywrath have mobility and escape? No. A lot of heroes don't. So this hero's powerful. The downside is you're giving Dawnbreaker, which I don't know if. I think Quincy's only lost one game with that hero.
10
Ever?
seconds remaining.
Damn.
I could be wrong on that.
5
Don't hold me to that
seconds
statistic. I might have just made it up. But they are very good with the hero. And they know how to combo it. They'll play it on multiple lanes, multiple roles. They ignore it. Absolutely no cares. And they'll grab Tiny Phoenix. Well, maybe a little experimentation while they have the confidence to do it.
I know you said don't call you out on it, but they are 7-3 with Dawnbreaker.
All right. Well,
So,
that's close enough. That's close
still a
enough.
very good win rate. Still a very good win rate. But
I only saw him lose one game, so that's all I knew. You know.
well, if you must know, they lost to TSM FTX twice and EG once with Dawnbreaker. So
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, that's basically one loss total, you know? He evens out.
sure.
Dire team
I mean, all these other wins I see are they won once against TSM FTX. All the other wins are against some of the lower tier teams. So I would argue all of those wins account to like one win.
Nah, I think my original stat still holds true. I'm gonna go with that one.
I feel like they've got a 50% win rate on Dawnbreaker,
5
basically.
seconds remaining.
Well, I guess that's why they didn't pick it.
Instead, they go for Tiny, who feels like a pretty crazy hero right now. When we talk about openers and drafts and having a hero that's versatile, I feel like Zeus and Tiny are kind of the same beast. Maybe you feel like Zeus is more OP, but Tiny also great mid laner right now. Ever since Thompson was doing his Aghanims build, a bunch of people have been bringing back the carry Tiny, and it's been played a lot as support, even some 3 position. I haven't seen a carry Tiny in a while, though.
Remaining.
It's probably gonna be the rare one. I think the mid, the Blink Echo Ag's pretty solid. It's proven to be just very strong. You're a huge jump initiator, tempo setter, very strong laner, and then you still scale. There's not much more you can ask for. It's also been one of the premier counter picks to Puck, which is why the hero's risen in priority. And then I think the 4 Tiny is probably the biggest. China popularized this tree first build, which is pretty interesting. Your spells are still incredibly strong in the skirmishes. You're always a displacement hero.
10
So it's
seconds
interesting to see the hero come back. Phoenix is a nice pairing with it. You get a lot of well-rounded team fight, and Tiny's a hero that has an AoE stun and kind of a fight setter in toss. So you can set the fight up, and then Phoenix takes huge benefit from that. So it's a very strong combo in general. I do not like this clock pick into these two. I think it's... I don't know what clock is doing into these two heroes. I'm not gonna lie. I get the idea
I mean,
that you really want
Clockwork
Clock with
against
Zeus, but-
Phoenix? Why?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible matchup. There's just no way around this matchup. It's absolutely terrible. From the lane to the game to everything. It's a rough one. So the upside is they want this other support who can start stuff for Zeus. Like, I think Clock is good with Zeus. So I understand that part.
Dire
But I think
team banned.
these two heroes, the clock on 8, it's just too low impact for me. Like,
It feels good to be.
you're just letting this opener get away with everything they want to, basically. And this clock is just sitting there, you know? There's no pressure coming out from this pick on 8, which is generally what I'd like to see, because I think this response pick is very impactful in the draft.
10 seconds remaining.
You're setting up the second... This is the pick that sets up the second phase in terms of
5
what are
seconds
people banning
remaining.
and what are they have the availability or the freedom to pick in a sense. So if this pick is not applying a lot of pressure, Quincy's going to feel very happy just taking some other hero into 2 counter picks here. Like, what are they afraid of, you know?
Crew's turn to pick. Dire team pick.
All right, well, they get their hands on the Pango, which we saw from the recent Riyadh Masters tournament, that this hero was definitely rising in popularity as a mid laner. When these pucks are getting banned away, Pango actually seemed to be one of the like better of like the second tier of mid laners, I guess.
Definitely had a decent amount of success. I think mid is pretty much the only role I would pick this hero for right now.
Okay.
I don't think any of the other roles are anything interesting for me. The mid role is good because you can get the early damage items and play off of them. You also have some synergy with disarms for the egg and another teamfight starter here. So I feel like this is just going mid. I mean, Quincy could flex it, Fada plays it, but I would just like to see it mid here. I think that's going to work out the best.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, it's a decent hero for gap closing Zeus with spell immunity.
Okay, things are going to get a little bit different here, as now it looks like we are looking at a mid Zeus, and then Clockwork paired up with a 3 or carry Razor, and then Winter Wyvern as
10 seconds
some sort of 4. I presume Jube is still going to be playing the Clockwork, but
5 seconds remaining.
Probably. This could be Core Wyvern.
I don't know if Shaggy plays that.
I don't think so. Lil Nick will, though.
Yeah, that's true. But then, then you're locking in an early carry Razor. I mean, at bare minimum, if you're thinking about that, I hope they are at least able to flex.
I think it's more likely it's a Zeus core here, but I wouldn't rule out the Core Wyvern.
Sure.
I can see Core Wyvern doing some work in this game if he gets to his items. That might be the hard part, especially after what we saw happen game 1. I probably would recommend not playing Core Wyvern after game 1, you know? Because I think the weakness of this hero is the early game in the lane. So, I think Zeus is a bit more robust. Razor's also fairly robust. Though I don't think this is some crazy Razor game either. I think Pango's pretty annoying for that hero. He's a link breaker, he's a disarmer, he's a backline disruptor. And then these other 2 supports don't really care about Razor too much.
You think Razor's also a Joker?
A what?
A Joker?
What does that mean?
You think he's a smoker? Midnight Toker?
What is the point of this pun, dude? That was honestly embarrassing, Cap. I'm embarrassed.
I mean, just to hear the confusion in your voice.
No, I knew where you were going, but I was still confused.
All right, Viper pickup for Quincy Cruz. So, why did they pick up this Viper? I don't see a reason.
Can destroy Razor.
Okay.
I think we saw Amar abuse this. There was a game at Stockholm, I think, where some team first phased Razor and they just took Viper immediately in response. And he destroyed him in the game. Like, you just throw your goo on him and you keep stacking him and you don't care if you get linked, you know? Razor does not feel good linking Viper. It's like, who cares? So I think that matchup's pretty good in the game, and the magic resistance looks good here. There's no dispels. Like, who's laning versus Viper right now? It enables your tiny support on the lane, too. It's a pretty annoying hero for the cut to deal with here, basically.
10 seconds remaining. Quincy Cruz, turn to pick.
Well, I'm guessing they're expecting some sort of ranged carry now, and I guess it's going to be the Weaver pickup for Scourge McDunk. I guess that was my biggest pause, was the fact that we're picking a Viper without knowing the lane matchup.
10 seconds remaining.
I think they were trying to see where this Razor went. which they got.
5 seconds.
I think Viper
remaining.
plus a melee 4 is pretty robust lane, though. Like, you can first phase these lanes, and you don't really care, you know?
Phantom
We'll
Assassin.
use Phantom Assassin here. So, another jumper for this mid Zeus. Shaggy will be playing. So that was the benefit of the Viper pick. They could hold their carry and potentially get a really good carry for the game. Which they get a hero that can naturally break the link and jump the Zeus. Another pretty well-rounded draft from Quincy. Some minus armor synergy, big team fights. They can anchor it around this Viper with the Phoenix behind him, and it's pretty hard for the cut to fight into. The upside is the cut have 4 ranged heroes, and it's going to force Quincy to try and gap close them. So the onus is perhaps on Quincy to try and find the openings to take the fights, whereas the cut can, you know, let the fight come into them around the Zeus, around the towers and the Wyvern spells. That can be very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, though, we talk about lanes a lot in North America for a reason. This Viper is a lane dominator. I just don't want to see them get crushed in their safe lane like last game. In theory, Weaver Wyvern should be okay in this lane. But it is Lizlau Viper. I've seen this guy destroy many people with this hero. I've picked it many times for him myself. He's quite good at laning with this hero.
I mean, definitely the biggest openings for the cut are going to be the mid and offlane matchups, right? You got Razor versus Phantom Assassin, which, you know, if you can get him isolated in some way or post his jump away, you know, you can actually put a decent amount of pressure on him. And then Zeus versus a melee hero, a squishy agility hero at that. Like, this could be a matchup that Shaggy wins.
He definitely should basically freeform this lane, I think. Which is going to be better than last game for sure.
True, yeah.
Last game was an absolute shellacking in that mid. So he should do better. Like, I think Zeus is pretty hard to beat on mid. There's a couple heroes that kind of do it, but it's one of these heroes that's like mid coddle, you know? You can spam the wave out. You have an escape spell, so you pretty much can never die. Pretty hard to abuse this hero. It is Quinn, though. Quinn is he's a powerful entity.
Well, once again, the cut are going to go for a early 5-man smoke and get some good vision down.
Yeah,
and they actually did spawn the D board, so it's a great little pickup.
30 seconds
yeah, that's some
to battle.
decent XP. They all split it, but how much is that per person? 10 XP.
Yeah,
damn.
That's kind of the sad part. That ward, like getting a D ward, could be super lane winning if it's one of those like solo, like your mid laner gets it, and then he gets a fast level 2, level 3, and dominates his matchup because of it.
Well, I see Fada back on this ward. Too fast.
The battle begins.
You are? Is he going to be able to get it? Oh, no. Little Nick actually takes it away from him, and we'll get some decent damage in the process on UR.
Fada is dead, I think.
Oh, shit. He tried to run back up that hill. I wonder if he realizes it's warded now. The battery assault isn't quite enough damage by itself, especially underneath the tier 1 tower. The aura helps the Phoenix survive, and he'll just have to run back to base, I guess.
Awesome. Some regen costs him some time. A much better start for this early game for the cut. They get the D ward, they get 3 runes, they get some early burn, free link for the Razor. Phoenix is going to miss the first wave entirely. So things are already looking up compared to last game. This is the kind of start you need versus a team that, you know, arguably on paper is a stronger laning team. That don't matter if you out-gimmick them a little bit.
So the weird part about this top lane is I expected a 600 range hero. Weaver is obviously not that, only at 425. So it does mean he's still going to get abused by Lizlau a decent amount, especially with a sentry in place.
You get abused a little. At the same time, you're very good in the game. You're a minus armor gap closer with an invis spell that can kind of kite around Viper in the fight. You always have the time lapse that Viper can never really deal with. And you do have kill threat on the lane. Like, I would say your ideal lane with Weaver versus Viper is you kill him once or twice if you have the ability to do it with some bug run down the lane. Once again, though, This is the prowess of this dual offlane for Quincy. Like, they already have Equilibrium in their favor. Huge wave pushing in. You're not going to be able to punish this with Wyvern Weaver under the tower, so... Lazal's going to be pretty happy with this. They need to look for the pulls. Of course, there are no pulls available. Mojo has made sure of that. So a decent start here for the Viper. We're pretty happy with this.
Mid lane matchup does look like Shaggy did a good job to start. They actually even get a Splinter Blast in onto Quinn, so he's been harassing Quinn a lot, and Quinn is not going to be able to get any refills on his bottle either, so...
Denied. Interesting early rotation from this Wyvern. I guess he didn't really have anything else to do. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
No pulls, the lane was too far up. Making the most out of the situation. They're gonna have to be careful in these next waves, though. This is where Tiny, he can toss you, he can choose, especially when they hit level 3 here. This Wyvern has to be careful, even the Weaver, if he aggressively Sakuchis. This lane is just too far up for Dire to play, I think.
Bigod barely gets the cogs out in time, but you could already see the Fire Spirits versus the cogs is a big problem for Clockwork until he gets Force Staff or Jetpack.
You a Jetpack fan? I feel like you'd be a Jetpack fan.
I am actually not as much of a Jetpack fan as I see other Clockworks. Like, other pro player Clockworks get Jetpack way before than I ever think to. I just feel like Force Staff is like a little bit more gold for like 10 times the amount of utility.
I can respect that. I don't know, I'm not a Jetpack fan. Everybody's been trying to convince me of this thing for years. But I don't buy it. I literally don't buy it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan, and then Kyle tried to sell me on it, so, you know, that had the
Kyle
opposite
tried to sell
effect.
you on it. Alright, I'm never buying it again. Jube pays the price.
Like a used car salesman, you know, you're like, alright, something's wrong with that one. Funny enough, Jube, he may have died, but he did manage to pass off the Tango with his last dying breath to Scourge McDuck, who certainly needs it. You can see the pressure on this lane, as you were talking about, with the creep equilibrium they got, and then the level 3 pickup, the kill power is now there, so scary stuff all around. Begon's in some trouble, and Lil Nick, yeah, I mean, he had Link, but there was nothing really he could do there to prevent Begon from dying.
Power of good lane mechanics. And there's another toss back. Ava on the Sakuchi.
Really nice. Good amount of damage. They can go for the dive, too. Scourge is just going to take out. He managed to get the bug onto MSS, but they quickly clear that one together, so free kill.
It's just a product of those how those early waves went. Like, you get control like this, you get to your level 3, you run up and abuse it. Early level advantage transitioning into even more compounded advantage here. Now they're both level 4 versus 2 level 3s. So Weaver's pretty sad on this lane. Like, you know, counter pick for what?
Yeah.
They're just getting outplayed and no pulls. They have this small camp stack. It's just hard to pull. You have to both come and contest this Tiny. That's part of the strength of this Tiny. He's difficult here to contest in these random jungle areas. Unless you have a really aggressive early carry. Which Weaver can be. Just not with what happened on the lane.
No, certainly not. He finally does get off the pole, so hopefully that will make things a little bit easier for Scourge McDuck, but it's also with a Siege Wagon wave, so it means that Quincy Crew is actually probably going to get a lot of damage in here. Yeah. They're going to need a good Splinter Blast and a good set of bugs to deter this one.
See if Mojo wants to try and dive. Pretty hard. I guess they're just going to lose their Kata. Still decent damage. I mean, ideally you just want to get levels on Weaver here. His levels are his survivability.
Bottom lane, going on to Nick while the Clockwork is gone, and it looks like they're going to be able to burn him out. He's taken all the damage away from Yawar, but it doesn't matter. Fada still has enough left in him. He gets the kill.
It's a Zeus ult. Might be able to find this Phoenix.
Yeah, B-God probably could have snuck up on him. A little bit of damage, and the Zeus ult would have secured it.
Precious bounty.
Alright, they're going on Mojo on the pull contest. He's just TPing out.
No stuns. He did get low, but maybe not low enough.
Yeah, I mean, if you use Zoozle for that and you miss it, you're gonna feel real bad.
Yeah.
I think that's something that should have happened sooner on this lane, though. Like, this Tiny can get abused in the 2-on-1 with the bug, which you need to play for in order to fight for the pull if you lost the lane earlier. So I think, like, they did correct things on this lane, but too little too late, in a sense. And now we're really seeing Lae'zel pull ahead. 37 CS, and 13 denies to the 20 of Weaver. Basically doubling him up. Absolute lane destruction in both games from Big L over here, as he's known in the western parts.
In other words, just you.
Yeah, but, you know, just me is, counts for a lot, you know.
Are you trying to
Some
say you're a
people would
very
say.
influential person?
I wouldn't call myself an influencer.
Shaggy does
I will
manage
accept
to
it,
get
though.
away from Quinn. Well, Quinn, don't think you want to be diving the tier 2, so we'll back off. 8-minute power runes coming up, and that's going to be pretty important for both of these mid laners.
Yeah, you really want to take this rune away from the Pango. Zeus doesn't even necessarily need it, but you just don't want the Pango to get it.
Yeah.
Jubei
And,
might pay the price. Or Swashbuckle.
Yeah. It's going to come at the cost of Jubei's life, but we'll see. I mean, it's a bottled arcane rune for a Zeus. That can do quite a lot.
I think that's worth it. That's worth it.
Worth it if they actually manage to get some kills out of it. They're going to pop the Zeus ultimate now. I was about to say Shaggy finally is going to blow that one because he had the arcane runes. Might as well. Collects on the Fada kill, and even going to be able to get Yawar here. Yawar has no jump out of this one. They're going to bring the Pango in. All that Quinn can really do is try and get some revenge. Gets off a good swashbuckle, finishes off the clockwork. Doesn't quite get Lil Nick. Lil Nick is really going for it, but he gets some tower aggro, and he dies just like that. Quinn is going to be traded out, though. Scourge McDuck managed to get that one. Should be able to Shikuchi away just fine. So, in the end, a trade-off that does feel very worth for the cut.
Yeah, I guess you take that. It's a Quinn TP into death, which is super big. It's going to put him off the map for a while. Again, that was an arcane Zeus ult as well. So you have it up again in 40 here, which is super nice for punishing this PA in the early game. Decent rotation from the Weaver. He can't stay top. That's the problem. So avoid the problem, find the solution. And that's what Scourge McDuck's doing. You'd rather have your Razor survive there than not? You know, but you can't have everything in the world. You can't have everything.
Yeah, certainly not in this game. Not against Quincy Crew. Not with the way that the lanes went. So find the good trade-offs where you can. They've shuffled some of their heroes around in some sort of attempt to find a kill in top lane. The supports weren't able to find anything, though. Quinn's going to go for it. Shaggy managed to definitely dodge that one. Still has a heavenly jump up, too, so really well played by him. Unfortunately, the illusion root did have to be grabbed, I think, by B-God, because Fada would have grabbed it otherwise.
Still another fine trade in terms of just denying the Pango the runes is going to be the biggest aspect about these rune contests. Especially for Quinn. It's like a morale boost, you know? Quinn doesn't get the rune, you feel good, you know, because you know he's mad about it. You know, this guy expects every rune.
I mean, that Mojo is being quite annoying. That Shaggy might be mad about it right now. He's having all of his experience sapped away by MSS, who's just kind of chilling there.
And he's one of the best early enemy jungle contesters in the game. We saw the power of this going all the way back to those OGTIs with Jirax Tiny killing people in the jungle. He is one of the tankiest supports early. 1200 HP, 10 armor. Zero fear on this man.
Oof. The last round of Avalanche was just enough to be able to get the kill on the Razor. And they are going to use this to pressure mid-tower with the Siege Wagon still up. Not Lil Nick. Shaggy's going to come in. Try and do something about it. Quinn misses the swashbuckle and the tower does die. I'm a little bit surprised nobody from the cut was willing to make that rotation. It seems like B-God really wants to get this kill bottom lane.
Dire's middle tower is
It's not
under
that
attack.
easy of a kill, though.
Radiant's top tower
The
is under
TPs can
attack.
come out. There's some Phoenix Egg counter initiation, the Pango counter initiation. Meanwhile, Shaggy's just getting his resources burned from multiple heroes in the jungle. This bottom move needs
Toss
to...
back into
he is done.
a little bit more from Quinn. He drops the ultimate. They are going to get vision of Yawar. Yawar is going to go down fighting, it seems. He knows that because of that
The egg
dive,
counter.
he's going to die here for it. But looks like the cut might be able to get a lot for it. They're going to try and get the egg. They do manage to kill the egg and get Yawar. Fada just adds one more kill for the cut.
Decent. Maybe he expected more TPs out there? They had the Viper TP, they had the Tiny TP, they had the Pango TP. A little discoordination. I think Quincy might have been even able to wipe them there. They all TP'd, but the one is not going to do it on its own.
Dire's
So
top
decent
tower is under attack.
Decent revenge kill for the cut. Off
Would
the
you
back
agree
of
with
the
me?
dying Zeusel.
In this description of Leslau, I feel like part of the reason that he always does so well as an offlaner is that he never throws his life away on bad rotations. Like that, like a 4-man dive into your enemy safe lane tower, I think that's something Leslau would just never go for, period.
Yeah, it's something I know we had discussions about a lot in terms of when it's good, when it's not, depending on the playstyle and the hero. So it's something he definitely thinks about a lot. Interesting curse. I guess he'll save the Razor here. Consign Jubei for B-God to death. I saw Clock, I assumed it was Jubei, but
Yeah, same.
it is B-God. No, he definitely thinks a lot about it. I think it's especially true if you're playing these offlaners that are farm heavy and in a position of highest net worth. If you TP to one of these fights and it doesn't go well, or you die, or you're stuck down there, you kill a lot of your map momentum, you kill a lot of your pressure, you take away the ability to be in an aggressive position and use your strength on the map. So they're very hit or miss, and the miss is very debilitating. So in general, I think Leslau is one of these players who will not really go for them unless he's sure they're going to work out.
Burned out of mana. Nick. Nothing Jubei could really do, even if he did have Cold Embrace with a Viper sitting there. He's has plenty of answers to that, plus he's got an Orchid still.
Quinn's getting all the runes now. Double damage into a haste. He's got his diffusal. He's very strong. Along with this Viper Orchid. Not something we mentioned, and probably not a super common first item on this hero. Does make sense this game in terms of locking down Weaver. Ever Orchiding this Wyvern is going to be amazing. You can ever Orchid Zeus. That's probably the less reliable one. Still going to be nice. I like it. I like this Orchid item choices. I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on SMD this game. In terms of how aggressively you can play in the fights and show on waves. B-God, you in the wrong neighborhood, son.
Yep, Smoke walks up straight into the tiny combination. Now Jubei's trying to get away. Mid lane at the same time. Shaggy turns around, does what damage he can, and then fights Quinn because he knows he can't necessarily get out of it so easily. Does have another jump.
Is he going to solo kill it?
Almost. Almost managed to get it. Meanwhile, it looks like Quinn went for a TP out off of the last bit of Rolling Thunder, so he managed to get away as well.
Even with that Glove of Haste, the Weaver unable to solo kill the egg. That's after the egg nurse. Remember, this thing used to be even better.
That's true, yeah. Wasn't there a time it was also worse? Didn't it used to be 5 hits at some point?
I don't remember that. Maybe. Not a Phoenix expert. Bottle. Dove in? He's chilling, though.
Quinn is going to try and get a fast kill on Jubei, maybe even faster by the Orchid. Does mean Scourge McDuck is free to Shikuchi on out of there, though. Mojo might be able to find him. He does. The Avalanche, did he toss back? Oh, he looked for it. Didn't actually get it in time. Looks like Leslau might have been out of range of the initial toss. And then Mojo didn't keep quite close enough to the Weaver.
Too slow. Viper is just too chunky to get there.
Just,
I mean, this game feels a little bit like last game, though, where, you know, there is a Radiant carry in this game. I don't know if you knew that, Cap. There is a Phantom Assassin. She's been lurking. She's been jungling. She's quite farmed.
I mean, I haven't seen her because half the time she's been blurred, so.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
You know, the sad part is the cut, like, made all these rotations to bottom lane to try and pressure UR, and a couple times they did manage to kill him, a couple times UR managed to TP out in time, but they've still yet to be able to get this tower. It's still up, a safe lane tower. It's 17 minutes.
They need it. They know they need it too. That's what the smoke is designed for. This one has to hit and connect. They have the BKB on Lil Nick. They have all their spells up. Mojo just might go down before the fight even starts.
Yeah, they drop the Wrath. They're going to see all these heroes. They manage to get the Phoenix. Hook on out. They do manage to kill that Tiny, and they get Leslau. So with the BKB of Lil Nick, the first showing of that one, they get 2 kills and a tower. Very nice. Good change for the cut, because it definitely felt like this game was kind of going against them here. Fauna is still lurking on the side here with a Rolling Thunder on in. Trying to go for the fast burst, but it wasn't quite good enough. And now,
nice
really nice curse. That's going to be killing the Phoenix. And Quinn doesn't have an easy way out of this one at all. Tries to swashbuckle over the side, but still caught. Lil Nick is back into play. He was having a rough game. Got that BKB. They take this team fight. It goes absolutely fantastic for the cut. And now they're really back in it.
Not only the back end, this is a Zeus game, man. Keep that in mind. We're not even at this hero's full potential yet. If there's one hero that likes turtling and taking defensive fights, it's Zeus. And anytime you take aggressive fights, then you're going to feel really good. So the cut definitely happy about that one. I feel like that's the first like good smoke move into a team fight they've taken in both games today.
Yeah.
And it definitely worked out. So showing some signs of life. A little bit of a throwy action off the back end trying to burst that Weaver. Maybe with some extra procs or something it could have worked out. Unfortunate. The cut will capitalize. And now all of a sudden Lil Nick, he's got like 2,000 gold off the back of that BKB reveal.
Yep, he's going to be going for Refresher. So at 19 minutes in, we are sitting at a score of 13-9, 3,000 net worth lead for Quincy Crew, but that has been diminished significantly from what it was just 5 minutes ago. And not only is this game feeling a lot different than it was 5 minutes ago, but this game 2 also feels so much better than the game 1 of this series, which if you blinked, you might have missed it. It was a pretty fast one when Quincy Crew just kind of stomping all over the cut since the laning phase. But this game looked a lot different. I mean, the laning phase wasn't nearly as bad this time around. We had especially the mid lane matchup went a lot better for Shaggy, and off of that, he seems to be feeling a lot more comfortable being in control. They're going to go for a kill on it. You are here, and it might just be enough. They need another nuke, and they get it. He hits the bounce off of the range creep. What a play from Shaggy, who is going to be orchided here. Slowed down, tossed up. Looks like he's going to be caught. He is tanky enough. Maybe he kills Leslau. Oh, he gets Leslau before he dies. Damn. Shaggy lives just long enough to style on Leslau, and he knows it too. He gives him the tip.
What the hell? This man's crazy. This hero's crazy. This man's crazy. He's just like 2v4 and up here killing 2 cores. Essence Ring definitely putting in work there. Makes him even tankier. I mean, this hero's power. He's a powerful hero, let me tell you that. The damage off this shard is absolutely insane. This game's looking a lot different from game 1. Got ourselves a Dota game.
Yeah, we really do. And it's going to be that much better for the cut. If they can just get another 1,100 gold onto Shaggy, they'll finish up the Aghanim Scepter, which is not just obviously a huge upgrade and being able to have another ability to throw around, but also just the stats. Yeah, I mean, you've got 10 agility, 10 intelligence that are just sitting in his backpack right now, getting the point booster into effect. That Zeus already looked pretty damn tanky in that last fight. You get an Aghanim Scepter complete, and Quincy Crew are actually going to, they may have a bit of trouble not only getting on top of him, but actually killing him when they do.
Gotta be the PA, right?
Yep.
I was about to say, this PA has kind of been the hidden shadow in this game. I don't think Yawar's joined a fight yet. He's just been farming, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's the big question, though, is how much is the cut getting done with this more active carry on Weaver versus the passive carry on PA? This is not a Roche you want to give up if you're
Oh, this might just be the perfect timing here. They went for a smoke.
Trace.
They wrapped all the way around. The smoke broke in the Roshan pit. If they can get inside there now, get the curse off. He gets it. He gets it onto the PA. The PA is going to be low off of this double damage. He's going to be thrown inside the pit, and the clockwork finishes him off. Quinn is going to be able to jump over the side, but the Roshan dies, easily picked up by B-God. He gets the Aegis. Fada's just going to be dying inside. He doesn't have Supernova. He already used it, so he's dead next. Leslau's going to be chased down. Mojo, can you save him? Don't think so. He's just going to stay invis. Got an invis rune. A huge disaster.
That was an aggressive Roche call versus a team that's very happy to take that fight into the pit with the vision. Maybe Quincy's just not expecting them to be that fast, but they were there. They were ready with the plasma field vision into the Wyvern Curse. Double damage Quinn, killing his brother. Yawar is not going to be happy with that one, and again, this PA is not finding the impact she wants in this game. It's 4 deaths already. If you fall too far behind, you might have damage issues into the Embrace and the Wyvern Curse reset. They're looking for SMD, though. Gets
they are going to be able to get a toss on top of that one. Do they have any disables, though? That they actually have him dead to rights. He did not have time lapse up. It was still on cooldown for a few more seconds, so pretty nice ability read there. I have a hard time keeping track of those kind of cooldowns, so well played.
Very nice by Mojo setting that up. And, I mean, that's just a very sad death. You get the big team fight win, you get the Aegis. Did they get the Roche, too?
I believe so.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got everything.
Quinn just got knocked out of the pit real quickly, so.
Yeah, it was very nice execution. This game's looking interesting. I don't think I felt the impact of Ozal this game compared to last.
No.
I think he's had a fine game. Definitely not last game in terms of just shellacking the whole map. And another hook shot.
B-God finds his opening, and with the Nimbus, they're going to be able to make short work of Mojo, and because of the Aegis, B-God isn't actually going to be dying here.
Looking for Leslau. I don't think they have the catch, though.
No, certainly not. And if anything, Nick should be pretty incentivized to just hit some creeps right now. He is very close to a refresher.
Which is big in this game. There's no BKB control for this Razor. They're looking for Quinn.
Yeah, they might. Up. Yeah, he does have the shard now. Especially against Zeus. Yeah, with the bug still on him, he does have a TP, so he could TP at any time. And with the level 15 talent, comes kind of hard to catch a Pango with that long of a duration.
Yawar's up. All right. Yawar insta-TPs.
Oh, the Nimbus! Oh, Shaggy catches him. Yawar is dead. The cut. All of a sudden, I mean, they were already winning the game, it felt like, these last few minutes, but now they actually are ahead in net worth and just getting stronger and stronger all the time. Now they've slowed down Yawar's BKB timing, which I think is the really only way the Quincy crew can fight at this point.
Yeah, he is falling behind. Like, these deaths add up. It's not where he wants to be off the back of a very snowball-based carry in his Phantom Assassin. Like, Phantom Assassin's not the ideal carry to fight your way back into a game if you fall behind. The enemy damage is going to prevent him joining the fights without this BKB at this point. I mean, Zeus shredding this hero. And the cut are aggressively looking for the fight here.
Nick leading the way. Beautiful curse. That's going to be able to set up the link into the refresh, and they've got the Nimbus on top too. Leslau trying to force staff himself away from Lil Nick, but Nick sticking to him. B-God chasing after him as well. Underneath the tier 3s, they get the kill. Lil Nick now refreshing. Second round with the BKB. He goes for Mojo this time. Quinn does manage to roll over and get the kill on a B-God, but it's just the one. Quinn chasing after Nick, but he's cold embrace, and if anything, Quinn's got to get the hell out of here. Even inside of his base, he may not be safe, but Shaggy opting not to chase.
I thought Shaggy was going to leap in there, huh?
I thought so, too. I thought he was thinking about it.
I know this, man. He thought about it. He thought about leaping in there, for sure. He is doing work this game. And this is the power of the Zeus. I think last game we did not feel it, but this game, let me tell you something. Quincy is feeling it this game. He's got his Kai Assange, he's got his Ags, he's got Essence Ring. This is a 3,000 HP intelligence damage hero. This is not an easy bring down, especially with an Embrace behind him. It's one of the things that makes Zeus also very good in this meta, I think. A lot of these backline saving 5s are very strong. You think about Wyvern, Dazzle, We even saw some
Warlock?
Warlock Treant play in China.
Yep.
These heroes are very good with this super high damage glass cannon heroes. I mean, I hesitate to call Zeus a glass cannon, but, you know, it's a hero that forces you to commit on him and dive deep in the fight, and then it's just setting everything up for this Jubei Wyvern. He's getting 2 or 3 man curses. The Embrace is going to be super annoying for this PA. We haven't even seen this stuff too much yet, and it's still just cards that Cut can pull out in these fights. This game is going much better for them, and they're cruising to their items. It's gonna be one half to. It's gonna have to be one hell of a fight from this Yawar BKB.
Yeah, we'll see if he even gets it before the next fight. Still needs a bit more gold to be able to complete it. And it almost looks like the Cut might be angling to take a fight sometime soon here. They've got a smoke running out on the courier right now, but they're going to push out without it.
I like this. PA still doesn't have BKB. This is your window to really
get the vision. They see Quinn. Quinn jumping onto the high ground. That is a little awkward. No curse just yet. The Gorkid is going to be able to finish off the Winter Wyvern. So a little fast kill, but they do manage to get Begot, his entrance into the fight with the hook shot. They get Nick. No, they couldn't actually keep Leslau in place. The egg helping to deter. Now they're going to look and see if they can chase a little bit. It's dangerous up into this high ground, though. Mojo's going to go for it. Gets the toss back. Toss onto the Phoenix, which he dove forward. Didn't matter, though. Begot still dies, and it looks like the Cutter on full retreat. Nick even popping the BKB just to ensure his safe TP out.
What a super awkward fight for the Cut. This Wyvern goes on the hill and gets Pango rolled on top of the hill and just dies. This is not the hero you want getting on first. Just maybe they didn't expect them to be on that ward. Very awkward. I guess it got salvaged a little bit. I mean, you're only losing 2 supports. It's not the biggest deal. The biggest winner is probably Yawar, who now gets to complete his BKB without having to take a fight without it.
You know, I feel like that's one of those situations that who has the words is pretty important.
Yes.
I don't think you want your Wyvern to... Because anytime you smoke, the moment the smoke breaks, you want to be getting some sort of vision down. And in this situation, Jubei is your backliner who has to run forward to plant vision, right?
It's very awkward. A lot of teams, they don't think about it too much. It's just a default thing, and it can cost you in certain situations. The enemy has vision. You're going to get jumped, and you're going to feel bad about it. If they don't have vision, the payoff can be really big. You know, if Wyvern goes up there, wards the hill, gets vision, blink ults 2 or 3 people, you just win the fight. So it looks bad when it looks bad, but if it works out, it's huge. Like here, he's on a ward. Might be able to set something up. He just blinks out.
Blink away. Fauna's going to chase after him. Nimbus going to be laid down to help protect Jubei, but on the right-hand side, they jump on Begot, who came down and immediately falls.
2-man bug.
Quinn bounce around inside of the cogs. Could jump up there with his Blink Dagger. Opts not to, so that is going to be Rolling Thunder on cooldown at least.
That was almost a very good fight for the Cut. If Quincy were unprepared on that ward, it would have been a nasty curse. So I think they're actually lucky to scrape out of that one. Jubei had pretty decent positioning.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This game might come down to the next Roshan. If PA can get it, versus the Cut taking another good fight around the Zeus damage. This Zeus still does a lot of damage. Cannot underestimate this. They do have a pipe on Phoenix. That's going to help a little bit. Even just the aura for this Viper, who has extra magic resistance as well.
I mean, it's going to be very interesting seeing the interaction of this PA BKB, which we haven't seen in a team fight yet, versus the Winter Wyvern. Oh, what's he doing over there?
No man's land. I don't know. Anyway, continue your thought, Cap.
Hook shot.
Because hook shot on Quinn.
Do they have a Nimbus? They've already used Nimbus, but they can't go for the curse. They've broken through the Lincolns. He pops the illusion, but it doesn't matter. They didn't need the curse. They got the kill anyway. Was that a mind breaker?
Mind breaker.
Mind breaker. Dude, I hate that item. Let me just say real quickly. I hate that item.
Whoa.
That item's some bullshit.
That must mean it's a good item.
I mean, yeah. A random silence that you're not anticipating is pretty broken.
I like this item.
Yeah, I bet you
It's
do.
a fun item. I mean, it's definitely good this game.
Oh, yeah, for certain. And without Quinn, no buyback on Quinn either. That is just going to be a free Roshan, so that means Shard and Aegis. So Shard for the Weaver, so we now have the upgraded bugs, so he can do the AoE attack, plus C-Invis units. I don't think anybody has invisibility, right?
No. It's still a very nice Shard, though. Just extra damage in the fight. You get slightly lower cooldown. I don't think there's a better Shard they can give. The Wyvern one's maybe debatable, but I honestly don't think it's doing much in this game. You could give it to the Razor.
Yeah, it's awkward because he has to be super careful with his cold embraces, right? That's what I was trying to talk about earlier, was that if he cold embraces just to defend against PA, then that unit is then going to be sitting in Nether Toxin and maybe a Supernova.
And he might need one top. I don't know if Lil Nick is pretty out here.
Did not get out the BKB fast enough, Lil Nick.
Dunzo.
Dead too fast.
What was he doing?
He's pushing up into a tier 1 tower with only Beacon to help him.
That was a bold move. Again, this is Aegis for the cut. They want to be able to use this time. They even had a DD on this Weaver who finished MKB. He's insanely strong right now. This is the benefit of the Aegis on this hero. He could itemize more aggressively with this MKB. He is going to absolutely destroy this PA in the fight. He gets on top of her. This is where the cut want to fight. So this is really debilitating for what they want to do. They might end up trying to take the fight anyway. Depends how confident they are. Quinn's pretty confident.
They've got the successful scan. They don't want to be leaving Shaggy behind, though. Shaggy, curse goes down. I mean, Quinn just rolls right through it. Keeps the chain stun onto Shaggy, who almost gets blown up. Cold Embrace buys him a little bit of time, but he's going to die eventually, and everybody's just going to try and get out. But I think a dagger just bashed Jubei on his way out, so they get an extra kill off of that.
Egg?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
You cooking some omelets over here, or what?
He's just a little trigger happy, you know?
Probably a hockey misclick or something. I don't think there was anything even close to that egg. Yeah, that was that little Nick at top. Quincy feeling confident to just run in there, and he can't ult. This Wyvern cannot ult this Pango with the Lincolns in his ult. So he's trying to buy time for the Zeus, but once the Zeus gets gap closed, not a lot saving him, as you said. Embrace is just stalling for the Viper stacks and Sunray. I mean, doesn't feel great. So 2 minutes left on this Aegis. I think the cut need to find a fight with this. Scourge McDuck is trying to force it. I don't know if this is the way to do it.
Well, with his BKB, he keeps the Aegis intact by popping the time lapse.
He's like half HP with no BKB ult now.
Yeah.
Zeus still dead for 20.
You can see Quinn's just going to go for it. He knows that, like, any fight is good fight. That's what he thinks anyway. Inside of the base may not be the best fight, though.
A weird series of pokes will result in Shaggy respawning and the cut having 5 heroes alive. Still have Aegis for a minute and a half. Alright, they really want to find this fight now. It's going to come down to initiations. Does Shaggy get jumped?
Oh, well, not with seeing the Pango right next to him. He's not going to get jumped. At least not yet. Surely he's going to be more cautious.
Yeah, they just don't have the wards on the cut side. It's just hard to invade some of these uphill areas, and Quincy know it. They're just defending their high ground ward. This game is a huge amount of this game is on the vision in the fight. Who drops the wards? The high ground wards, especially the Zeus ult, defending the Wyvern backline. And for Quincy, it's a lot about fighting around this egg and the Viper, with PA jump getting on top of the Zeus. Perhaps the biggest thing that can happen.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Aegis is gonna wear out. They did not get an actual fight with it, which I'm a little disappointed by. I think this Aegis was really strong in this game, with the amount of attention it can draw and wearing down BKB, for example. Just not getting an opportunity to use it with some Just some misplays on deaths, I think. That said, another 5-man smoke. They do have a ward. They Zeus ult.
Dire's bottom tower is under
See
attack.
Quinn. Gets hookshot. Mindbreaker. Did I lose Cap? Did I lose me? What's happening right now?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It might just be me. It might be just Cap. I can't tell. I can't hear anything. Alright, Cap. It is indeed on Cap's side,
Radiant's top
as I
tower
predicted.
is under attack.
I knew all along. I shall provide commentary on this cast. Shaggy now has BKB. Feels very strong to engage into the fight. Looking for the Phoenix Kill. Gets a D ward.
Top tower
Mojo, he sniffs him out. Huge toss back into the PA. Can Shaggy survive? He does survive because Zeus is Zeus. B-God jetpacking in. Mojo's going to pay the price for his greed. The congratulatory hookshot on the back end. Interesting use. They do have Ags on this Clockwork. And Satanic done for... He is a powerful bug. A powerful entity, a powerful spider.
Do it with flair.
Shaggy survived there. This hero is insanely tanky. Took arc lightning damage as well. Level 25. Damn. Double basher here for Quincy as well. Worth mentioning in terms of bashing the Zeus and BKB, chain bashing the Weaver. All of it's going to be Gucci if they can land it. Lincoln's for Yawar as well. They do not want to get Wyvern cursed.
Boom, there it goes.
This Wyvern is definitely causing them problems this game. As Shaggy looking for the high five. He knows if he can score enough high fives, he will redeem himself after that game 1 performance. Even got a Spell Prism. That is a nice Zeus item, I'll tell you guys that. Spell Prism on Zeus. 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10. Only Timeless Relic better? I don't think they got one. Pango got one. Leveler for Scourge McDuck. Some evasion for Lil Nick.
Do it with flair.
Good neutral items here. Quincy smoked on the high ground, trying to take the fight under their vision. I think it's hard for them to fight without vision. Fada's trying to bait. He is tanky. Plate mail, pipe, 3000 HP. Wynn gets hookshot in ult under a Nimbus. Lincoln's procced. Yawar on Zeus. Zeus is dead. Absolutely 0 spells from Shaggy. Huge find from Yawar. On to Lil Nick. Lil Nick is going to have to run for his life here. His Wyvern stunned in the river. He will also go down. I think Lil Nick is... Oh, does he have the jukes? Does he have the jukes? He does have the jukes. What a monster. Narrowly escapes, but that was a huge fight for Quincy. They didn't even have the vision. That was dire vision in the mid lane. And still Shaggy just overextending. Getting baited by this Pango. He will force his buyback here. Double buyback coming out for the cuts. Yawar had a rough early game, but he's picking up the slack. He's picking up the slack in the Twilight Hour. Level 26 now. Triple dagger. Praying for an early Roshan. Nimbus scouting it. Fada tanking it. Yawar killing it. Roche spawns as they leave the pit. Double damage on this Phantom Assassin. Dear God, have mercy. If Zeus gets jumped, I feel like it's the game. Shaggy cannot get jumped. He needs to dodge at all costs. Hide. Hide yourself.
Even I like a good bauble.
Quinn leading the charge. He has buyback on this Pango. He's happy to frontline. Huge Zeus ult. Sees Quinn, sees the smoke, nothing else. Roche is up. The cut can force the Roche. Or the Quincy can force the Roche, especially with double damage PA here. I don't know if this is a Roche you can afford to give up. This is the Aghanim Scepter Roche. Nimbus trying to dissuade it. Arcane Rune in the river. You know Shaggy would like that. But I don't know if he's crazy enough to go for it. What is he doing? Absolute insane that he goes for this rune. He is getting shredded, and he is dead again. Lil Nick tossed into the egg. Blown up by Yoar. Double damage PA is going to destroy everybody, I think. That might just be the game off that fight. Baited by the rune. We saw it in the EG series that Quinn got baited by the rune. And this time, it is Shaggy. Pays for his greed. The Arcane was just too tempting. And it sealed his fate. That will be Roshan to Quincy, who have dragged this game back. Versus the Zeus, you are finding the openings. Now he'll find himself an Aghanim Scepter and Aegis.
Is under attack.
Oh, take that.
Dire's middle tower.
High ground siege begins. Zeus dead for 80. No buy. This is probably the throne here. AC for Leslau. Even more building destruction. Strength link for Quinn. More spell destruction. Triple buyback from the cut. They need the Wyvern Curse of a lifetime. There's no way Quincy's going to give it to him. The spacing is too immaculate. SMD on the back line. He gets jumped by Mojo. He's got to fight for his life. Satanics. Ults. Lil Nick getting chain stun. Frozen on the back line. 2 tier 4s down. Base exposed. Quinn still lurking with the cheese. Lil Nick getting bashed. Getting Viper ulted. He is done. I don't think the cut have anything left in the tank. Weaver absolutely shredded. Shredded Bug on the floor. 5-man for Quincy hitting the throne. An easy game in the end for them, I guess. But damn, that looked good for the cut. Looked better than game 1. Tell you guys that much. Until Shaggy just got jumped. And that was it. Not enough frontline in order to be able to tank this PA once she got to that BKB +1. Huge double damage rune. And the huge arcane rune Jabate in the river. Shaggy's greed. Shaggy's greed was just too much. That was a pretty decent game, though. Pretty close. I think if the cut got that last Roche, might be looking at a very different outcome. I think if they'd also used the second Aegis to achieve something on the map, it would have been pretty good for them. They missed a pretty big window there. That Lil Nick Razor Death Top hurt them a lot. Still, they looked decent. They looked decent in this game. They pulled it back. They were in the lead for a decent chunk of the mid late game. Saw the power of the Zeus. 3,000 HP intelligence hero Zeus. Very nice. Very nice. And yeah, I don't know if I'm in control of anything or whatever, but I guess we're going to go to a break and Cap will try and fix his setup. So he's less scuffed than I am. And then we will be casting another series, which I believe will be Nouns versus Alpha. Wait, didn't Nouns versus Alpha already happen? I don't know what's happening. I don't know the schedule. That was Cap. Cap scuffed this stream. I'm just here for the Dota. The Dota is entertaining. The rune baits are entertaining. We will go to a break and we'll see you guys again shortly. Stick around.
about to lose control. Orange autumn leaves on the ground.